Life is like a jigsaw puzzle. Everyone's trying to find the solution by putting the pieces together. Because life is very confusing. There's little pieces like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to be? Then there's all those jigsaw puzzles we don't quite know where to place. Like, why am I here? What's the purpose of all this? And with all these different worldviews on life, this can get even more confusing. If only we could fit every single jigsaw piece together and finally see the full picture that makes everything crystal clear. Some people will try to put certain jigsaw puzzle pieces into certain places, but they'll find that they just don't quite fit. Some people will say, oh, perhaps when I get this college degree, then my life will finally be fulfilled. But by the time people get their college degree, they usually say, is that it? There's got to be more to life than that. So perhaps they'll say, oh, perhaps if I follow my career, then my life will be fulfilled. And so they do. But even in their career, a deep part of them will say, no, that's not right either. There's got to be more to life than that. Some people have come up with another jigsaw piece. Perhaps if I find a lover, then my life will be completed. But then, even then, they get the jigsaw pieces in the wrong places. Or to be more precise, perhaps these puzzle pieces do fit, but you haven't found every single puzzle piece. The problem is, no matter how many puzzle pieces we manage to fit together, there's always that one empty puzzle piece that needs to be filled. It's a puzzle piece that haunts us by its mere fact that it's missing. And none of us will be satisfied until that puzzle piece is filled. You can complete parts of the puzzle, but you'll never be fulfilled with completing the puzzle until you complete the puzzle. Think of that last puzzle piece like understanding the meaning and significance of life itself. This very question seems to haunt every single one of us because those who don't have the answer are always desperately searching here and there to find a solution to the purpose of life. So some try to reinterpret the puzzle, which may seem like a good idea until it completely backfires later on. Like, have you ever come across a child or some immature fool who was desperately cutting the jigsaw pieces so they could fit in certain places? Or trying to cram the pieces together even though they don't fit? Well, later on that's going to backfire because they know fully well that's not how you complete the puzzle. In a similar vein, various people have tried to fulfill that jigsaw puzzle called the purpose of life by having a fulfilling career or perhaps being in denial of certain truths. But no matter what you do, you cannot leave that puzzle piece unsolved. Maybe you're some kind of raved party animal, and no matter how hard you party, there's still that empty piece inside. Even looking at the beauty of everything we see on the earth, one must ask themselves, will this beauty have any significance? So no matter what we do in life, that empty piece called the purpose of life in the big jigsaw puzzle of everything will remain unfulfilled unless we find the answer. When C.S. Lewis was pursuing spiritual truth, he managed to figure something out with his unique way of thinking. C.S. Lewis reckoned if there's a hunger for food, there is food. If there is a hunger for sex, there is sex. If there is a hunger for something beyond this life, then there must be something beyond this life. Something beyond this existence. That's the very thing we hunger for. And C.S. Lewis was spot on when he mentioned that. And that niggly feeling of unfulfilled purpose and emptiness was addressed by Nicky Gumbel. He usually discusses this when he addresses the topic, is there more to life than this? Nicky Gumbel described when he was a skeptical determinist. He reckons that if he only completed his college degree, then life will get started. But he started asking himself once again, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than this. Then he reckoned, perhaps if I get a girlfriend. But even then he was begging, there's got to be more to life than this. It's rather haunting. No matter how many puzzle pieces we put together, there's always that one. But there is one man who said that he is the solution to everything. This man described himself as the Alpha and Omega. He practically stated that he alone could solve every problem that mankind has ever faced. And that man's name was Jesus Christ. Now, I can imagine the more skeptical viewers are probably rightfully questioning my claim, or rather Jesus' claims. But take some time to stop and think about it for a moment. Many people who have said to become Christians have found that that missing piece has been fulfilled. The love of Jesus and the convincing assurance that he's alive manages to fulfill that missing piece in our souls. And Jesus Christ himself made some extraordinary claims about himself. And Christianity is practically begging people to come in and take a look at investigating the truth for themselves. Because if Jesus Christ really is who he claimed to be, then he really is that missing puzzle piece in our lives. So C.S. Lewis and Nicky Gumbel investigated the evidence for themselves and also took time to read the scriptures. Because there's no point in critiquing something if you haven't taken time to at least look into it and taken a look at the research studied by experts throughout the years. I guarantee you the events of the New Testament are some of the most well-documented historical facts in history. But ultimately, the evidence is only going to take you so far. When Nicky Gumbel found out that Jesus Christ really is who he claimed to be, he accepted Jesus into his life, and he describes this amazing experience of moving from a head experience of knowing it to be true to a heart experience of having a deeply personal relationship with the Holy Trinity. All throughout the world, there are stories of existential experiences. And then they accepted Jesus into their lives after hearing the evidence and the Gospels, and their lives were transformed. Earlier today, me and my family had church services online during quarantine where we looked at the Gospel of Luke. It was Luke chapter 24. The disciples were grieving the loss of their leader Jesus. But then Jesus appeared to them, alive, fulfilling the prophecies. And they were so overjoyed that they started to spread the gospel of the message and became courageous speakers supporting the gospel of Jesus. The message of Luke 24 is simple, yet extremely significant. Jesus is alive. The message of Jesus is significant because it brings purpose to our lives. We're not just simple creatures wandering around for no reason. The resurrection is true, and you can share the glory of Jesus Christ by accepting him as Lord and Savior and joining him in heaven. The resurrection is genuinely true. Therefore, Christianity is true. And to people who are still skeptical, I'd highly advise you investigate for yourselves.